Hello, Sage here on the Sage channel, and today's update is basically it's a bucket full of fantastic little things. So, first off, most of them are actually accessible in the Advanced tab button right here, so we're going to go ahead and click on that. And right away you'll notice we have a new scroll button right here. It is a day timer, so now the sun rotates around all of your asteroids and everything. It's basically in the skybox rotating about, as the devs said they were going to add. So it'll simulate day and night, so it'll be even more useful once they get planets in. You can set it anywhere from 1 minute to a proper 24 hours. Unfortunately, you cannot do a control left click and enter a number on your own, but let's go ahead and set it to 1 just so when we load this world up, we'll actually see it moving about. As we scroll down, you'll also see station voxel support right here. If you have that on, any station you create that is not attached to an asteroid is basically going to act as a large ship. It'll be free floating. So if you do have that on though, and you build your station up off of an asteroid and somebody happens to fly by and separate it from the asteroid, it'll instantly turn that piece that is now separate into a large ship. And then we also have enabled jetpack at the bottom left right here that is useful for scenarios that you're setting up. If you want to go ahead and, let's say, have a big deathmatch map where nobody can fly, you can just turn that off and jetpacks will no longer be enabled. So let's go ahead and load this world up so you can actually see what some of this looks like. And there's one more amazing thing that I have to show you once we actually get into the world. Alrighty, and now that we're in here, right away you'll probably notice that the sun is moving across the sky. Now, rather unfortunately, in DirectX 11 mode, you don't get that nice little lens flare, but if we were in DirectX 9 mode, you would actually see the lens flare move across and shift across your screen as the sun moves. It's really unfortunate that you don't get that, but as you can see, the sun does indeed move right across the sky and disappear beneath our platform. Of course, it's just going to move in a big circle around us. Also, I'm going to point out that it does appear that your eyes still... Oh, there we go. They've adjusted a little bit when I'm staring directly. Nope. They don't seem to be adjusting correctly still. Anyway, moving on from that... Well, they seem to be doing... whatever. Anyway, moving on from that, another feature that was enabled, of course, was the fact that the stations would now be free floating if they're not connected to an asteroid. And to demonstrate that, I can actually go ahead and copy and paste in a Sage station. For some reason, I put my camera aiming straight down. So there we go. Here's the Sage station, and you can see it's snapping the grid. Let's go ahead and paste it like this. There we go. It's in there, right? It should be a station, proper and set. Let's go ahead and press B to activate rotation mode, and this should still be a station. And let's paste it like so. Oh, of course, it's because it's got unwanted mods, but if we copy it, should still be a station. We paste it, and you can see it is indeed moving. And in fact, we can go ahead and move one of these back and paste it. And you'll see it'll hit the other one, and it is also moving because they're not attached to a proper station, or to an asteroid, I mean. Now, if we did go ahead and copy one of these, and we should be able to stick it into the asteroid a little bit, I think. No? Come on, just a little bit? No? Well, we can demonstrate it with this platform that we're on right here. As you can see, it's not moving, but if we were to go ahead and, well, we can even crash something into it to properly demonstrate that it's not moving, like so. So you can see it hit the platform, nothing went flying except for little pieces of rubbish. Where's the sun gone? You mind coming up somewhere so we can see what we're doing here? Anyway, we're just going to have to go in the dark, I guess. If we were to go ahead now and cut this free, we could go ahead and do that. And I believe we got a few more things to cut right here. There we go. And cut through there. Ooh, game has frozen for me. There we go, now it's responding again. Cut through there. Now this whole section here, because it's not attached to a station, should be acting as its own free floating object. We'll copy one of these and throw it into there. It's not working. It's not heavy enough, I mean. Let's go ahead and give it some more weight, shall we? Just with these little nonsensical things. And hit it with that, I said. And hit it with that. There we go. And apparently it's still attached somewhere. Yes, it is. So the idea here is, as long as it's attached with even one little block, it's going to act as if it is still a prog standard station. But if we were to go ahead and separate it, which it should now be theoretically completely separated, if something was to hit it now, are we still attached somewhere? I'm not sure. It seems to be acting so, or either that or that wasn't a hard enough hit. There we go. Now that definitely did it. So you can see now that it's separated, it will indeed float free. So you got to be cautious when you're building stuff now. If you want to have something static, it has to be attached to an asteroid. They've done this so that once they get planets in, you'll be able to have proper buildings that come up from the ground and head up. And if something separates that, causes that building to be cut in two, the top half will tumble down to the earth. And of course, stations, ships, and all that will be affected by planetary gravity come the planet update. So also, you're not going to be able to just stick a station floating somewhere silly. It'll actually be pulled down, as long as you have this turned on, that is. You can, of course, disable that if you want stations to act as they always have. One last really amazing and incredible thing is something a lot of people have been asking for quite some time. If you go ahead and press K, look at my UI. It's actually partially see-through. This is, of course, useful if you're working with rotors, pistons, lights, or anything that's moving in any sort of way. And, of course, even drones, frankly, if you're trying to tweak their thruster settings or anything. And the way this is configured is, I believe, Escape, Options, Game, and right down here you have background transparency, and even this screen's affected by it, which is really useful, so you can actually see how much it's going to affect. And you can drop down your background transparency, pretty much non-existent, and you can even drop down your actual text transparency as well if you want things to be really see-through. Of course, you can leave it bog standard as per usual if you want, but, of course, you probably don't want to do that because you want to be able to see through it. This has been something a lot of people have modded in, and the devs have gone ahead and taken it from the GitHub updates where somebody had gone ahead and pasted it. I will point out it's a little bit annoying to have things like this here, these two little buttons at the top not showing up properly. And then if we were to actually go ahead and find a station that's not drifting away like this one here, we're going to go ahead and access its controls. So float up to right here, hop into this. And you'll notice that when I select things, it can be a little tiny bit difficult to see what I'm actually selecting on the left. Like I have a whole group selected right here, and it's a little hard to see. And that can become even harder if you go ahead and adjust this down to pretty much nothing. At this point, it's almost impossible to tell you, well, I don't know, you can still sort of see it, but it can be a little bit difficult. Just keep in mind that it can be a little bit hard to see. Anyway, guys, that's it for this update. I think I've gone over pretty much everything. Oh, one last thing that I don't have anything to demonstrate it with is that projectors, when you're now setting projectors up to spawn something during a scenario, they will now keep the ownership of whoever the projector is set to. So if that projector is set to an enemy NPC 4598, whenever it spawns, will no longer take the ownership of the blueprint, but it'll actually just take the ownership of the projector, so it'll be enemy 4598. And so you can make friendly things and enemy things all like that. It is a shame that we cannot go ahead and add friendly NPCs with that button at the bottom right yet, but I'm sure that'll get there as well as 1,000,001 other things. Anyways, that is actually it for today's update. Thank you a bunch for watching, and I shall see you guys next time. Ta-ta.